In this chapter of Dragon Ball Super, we go back to the past and we learn that the Saiyans are indeed true serial killers.
Boo! You stink!
Powerful Nerdcast assemble! Stay dandy, baby. The present becomes intertwined with the past in the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super as we dive into the history of Granolah, his mother, and how Bardock was involved with them. But before we go into this review, I would like to ask all of you, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so you can see all of my latest videos, reviews, and discussions. If you're already subscribed, make sure you're clicking on that bell notification icon. It's going to give you an announcement for when my videos are officially released. And if you're liking this video, transform into your giant Saiyan 8 form and smash the like button. If you guys want to go that little extra mile in supporting my channel financially, please consider checking out my Patreon page. I would love to add your name to this list of all of these amazing people that you currently see on screen. They are the Super Saiyan producers of Ace Guru. But let's go ahead and talk about the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super, which for me was freaking awesome. Whenever they can involve events from the past and tie them into the present storyline, I think it can always be a really good thing. It just manages to make the lore that much richer for Dragon Ball fans. And what I really love about this one is that it actually involves Goku's father, Bardock. And it's also like the first time in the series that Goku has taken an interest in his father and who he was. It also gives us some massive revelations about things which actually happened on Planet Cereal, which not only involves the Saiyans invasion, the involvement of Namekians, but also even the brand new villainous group, the Heaters. The chapter opens up immediately with a flashback of showing what Planet Cereal used to be like, showing that the Cerealians used to actually live peacefully with the Namekians, until one day suddenly the Saiyans attacked, and I love the image of them actually attacking the planet. It's absolutely horrifying, with their pods coming up out of the sky, destroying their homes, their crops, and everything, before suddenly emerging as giant great apes and just destroying everything King Kong style. This entire scene is terrifying, of watching these Saiyans pick up giant buildings, smash them on all of the people, and just destroy everything until it is nothing but rubble. What is really cool though is that the Cerealians actually try to attack them, and some of them of course have the most ridiculous cereal pun names, one of them going by the name of Flake. It appears that the people of Planet Cereal actually know that these great apes transform because of the moon, so they actually try to destroy it. And there's this one giant Saiyan ape who tries to attack Flake, and he ends up getting blasted in the face with a huge cut appearing on his head. This actually ends up being the comrade of Bardock, who goes by the name of Leek, a character who's actually appeared a few times in the series, like in the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. And even though they got rid of the moon and all of the Saiyans have transformed to their normal state, it doesn't really mean anything as they continue their slaughter. The Saiyans at this point in time are just way too powerful for everyone. During all of the destruction, we also get to see that there's this one elder Namekian who looks very much like Guru, kind of an older giant Namekian, who entrusts the two Dragon Balls to Monaito and tells him to try and run away with them, knowing that he knows how to take care of them, and he immediately runs away from all of the destruction, trying to hide away these Dragon Balls. While all of this is going on, we get to see a young Granolah who's running through the streets for his life until eventually he meets his mother. This is when we finally get the introduction of Bardock during this entire scene, and what I love about this is that they're continuing to paint Bardock as a more sympathetic Saiyan warrior. Before it was all doom, death, and destruction, but as the series has gone on, it's starting to make more sense that Goku actually inherited a tremendous amount of personality from his father. It wasn't just him falling on his head. And not to confuse the viewers too much, but we end up getting a flashback within a flashback when Bardock actually sees Granolah and his mother, who goes by the name of Muesli, by the way. We get to see a nice scene between Bardock and his wife, Goku's mother, Gin. Or is it Gine? How do you pronounce her name? Someone tell me in the comments section. And this scene is actually pretty important because this is when Goku actually receives his first Saiyan name, Kakarot, from his father. But this flashback within a flashback serves a purpose. It shows that Bardock is actually sympathetic towards this mother and her son because he is of course going to be a father himself. In fact, Bardock almost gets caught when he's actually trying to spare them by his comrade Leek, but he says, "I'm gonna try and find some other survivors and take them out. You go and do your very own thing." But he's gonna have to act quick because it's only a matter of time before Frieza actually makes his way to the planet, and Bardock actually ends up helping out this mother and her son by actually sensing this power level that's like out in the middle of the woods and in the forest, and it just turns out that this happens to be Monaito. And did I say sense? He actually ends up using a scouter. He ends up finding this old Namekian house where he discovers Monaito and decides to leave Muesli and her son, Granolah, there so that he can make sure that they're going to be safe. Unfortunately, this is when Elec and the Heaters actually arrive. Being that they are planet brokers, they've immediately arrived on this planet to assess its value so that they can make as much money as possible and, of course, give a little bit of that dough to Frieza, while at the same time essentially screwing him out of a lot of money and, again, trying to reenact their plan to try and eventually take over Frieza's empire, which, considering how long ago this flashback was, they're not doing that great. Unfortunately for Bardock, the Heaters end up finding him, and in order to save face, he says that he's actually trying to take out these last remaining survivors as well as the Namekian, but also commenting that he might have some sort of secret power, which would, you know, be something kind of useful. Basically, he's trying to buy some time so that he doesn't actually have to end up killing anyone. The problem is, Granolah suddenly wakes up and is looking for his mother, who's decided to come out, and she causes enough commotion, which leads to one of the most devastating scenes of the entire chapter, where we get to see that Granolah's mother was not killed by a Saiyan, but was actually killed by Elec, the leader of the Heaters. He just ends up shooting her directly through the heart. Unfortunately for Granolah, he never gets to see these events, and Monaito has decided to hide these facts from him for some reason. And so the chapter ends with more answers and, surprisingly, more questions, as we get to learn a little bit more about the Heaters, their motives, and of course Goku learning a little bit more about his father. We also get to see that Vegeta apparently knew who Bardock was. Now, whether he actually knew him personally or didn't realize that Bardock was Goku's father until now remains to be seen, but the fact of the matter is he does officially confirm to Goku that yes, Bardock was his father. So what's the rundown on the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super? There was a lot to take in on this chapter, but honestly I thought that it was a visual spectacle. Every time we get to see like a flashback of the Saiyans taking over a planet, it's always kind of an exciting and terrifying kind of thing, and I really loved how it was done in this chapter, showing a little bit of the calm before the storm, all the Cerealians and the Namekians living together in peace, where suddenly it was interrupted by them just coming down on the planet and just wrecking everything. I do love the fact that the people of Planet Cereal at least tried to fight back with their distinctive abilities. I wanted to see a little bit more of them, to be perfectly honest, and just like Granolah, they have those distinctive eyes and the ability to fire beams from their fingers, and some of them are more proficient at it than others, but again, against the Saiyans, they just simply do not stand a chance. Even with Flake utilizing that one super-powered ki blast, it does nothing but leave a minor scar on Leak, which, if you ever wanted to wonder where that guy got a scar, well, here you go! Fun facts! But ultimately, this chapter answered a lot of questions, in particular how Bardock was involved in all of these events, and again just demonstrating that he actually was a Saiyan with a heart of gold. He's not just a power-hungry space Viking who likes to go around blowing shit up. I mean, he does like to do that, but we get to see that now that he's become a parent, it has softened him just a little bit, and if anything, he's definitely been one of those Saiyan characters who's always had like a sense of honor, a code of honor, if you will, and like I said, it sort of makes perfect sense that Goku has sort of inherited all of that. I also really love that they involved the Heaters in this chapter, which, like a lot of the other characters in the series, they simply just age really well. They haven't really changed in appearance at all in like all of the time that's actually taken place since this flashback, but also it's kind of funny that their entire plan hinges on the fact that eventually they're going to try and take over Frieza's empire, or at least try to be something bigger than that, and considering how much time has passed, they're just not really doing a great job at any of that. But again, I do love that they're building up a little bit more of the character of Gas, who's definitely like the big warrior of the Heaters. He actually manages to defend against Bardock in this chapter, utilizing a crazy force field, and as Bardock actually tries to run away from them, I have a feeling they might actually be involved in what's going to happen that's eventually going to lead to the eradication of Planet Vegeta. And then, of course, we also have the scene where Beerus claimed that he was the one who gave Frieza the idea to do this, so who knows how many more events these guys are actually going to be tied into. My only issue with this chapter, and this kind of goes along with the previous ones, is I have no idea why Monaito didn't tell Granolah any of this stuff until now. I mean, he could have changed a lot of things for this series if he'd have simply just told him these events when he was a younger child, and maybe he was simply just trying to protect him and not have to tell him the gruesome events which led to his mother's death. But I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. He could have at least told him throughout all this time when Granolah was talking about the fact that the Saiyans are the worst people in the frickin' universe that, you know, it really wasn't a Saiyan that killed your mother. I don't know. It's something that he could have brought up, and I'm sure there's some convoluted, crazy reason behind all of it, but I'm gonna have to see what it's going to actually be first for it to make any sort of sense. It is also worth mentioning that the Heaters are on the planet as well, and they're trying to get that second Dragon Ball, which is going to lead to some sort of crazy wish. And I'm not sure if this has been established or not, but I guess since there's only 2 Dragon Balls, it doesn't take as long for them to actually like gain their power back so that you can get a wish. I mean, I guess that's the benefit of only having 2 Dragon Balls. Overall, though, I really liked this chapter. I especially loved all of the scenes at the beginning with the Saiyans attacking. Like I said, just visually striking and really cool. The death of Granolah's mother was very sad and very devastating, and I really love that they were able to incorporate Bardock, his backstory, and of course, the birth of his son Goku into this chapter. Everything is just connecting in a really cool way. I really love when they can expand on the past lore of Dragon Ball and connect it to things that are going on in the current storyline. So yeah, I really love this chapter, even with some of the issues that I did have with it. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5. This one felt distinctively classic, and I just really love the lore that they're continuing to build up, and they're continuing to make the Heaters seem like they're going to be some pretty interesting villains. I can't wait to see what they're actually going to do with this eventual wish that they're probably going to get. There's so much promise for the future of this arc, so I can't wait to see what's next. But really, I want to hear from you guys. Let's have a big discussion all about this chapter. What did you think about the backstory of Granolah, the death of his mother, Bardock being involved, and of course, the Heaters being around since the beginning? How is this all going to connect at the end, and what do you want to see from the future of the Granolah Survivor arc? Let's talk about it. Comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.